Hey there, welcome to day 4. Yep, day 3 has been uploaded, and I only have enough room for one video on my phone. So I have to wait for the next, for a video to upload before I can even start filming another one. Production stuff. Y'all don't really care about that, do you? Day 4. We're on day 4. Welcome back to the studio. Here's another direct action gaming session. We're in day 4 of the Endless Night scenario for this war of mine. And oh boy, I've been waiting to continue this. It was definitely a struggle to just sort of stare at this game in progress and know that I just can't find out what happens next until, well, the previous episode uploads. So I had to do a bunch of chores and other stuff, but here we are. We're back again. Once again, we're in a similar position. We're still alive, but we're okay-ish, but not great. Both of our characters are sick now. It's not just Pavel. Cveta got sick as well, thanks to the fact that it's just so gosh darn cold outside. So literally the choice was to either cause Pavel to get even more sick and bring his illness up to 3, or give Cveta illness 1. So we did that, because if Pavel is up to illness 3, that means he can do nothing during the day phase. And as is, he really only has one action, which is probably going to be taking a nap, so that, like, he doesn't literally die of fatigue. I mean, we can always put him to sleep during the night phase, but that would mean we could not do any scavenging, and Cveta would have to defend the shelter all by herself twice, so that's not great. So yeah. That's the general game plan for the day, but we're still in the morning phase, aren't we? We have to... Can y'all see this? Hold the phone. Let's see. We might want maybe some light. I have this light right behind the camera. It just doesn't seem to be brightening things up at all. Huh. Can we turn, like, the phone light on? I don't know. The board looks kind of dark, no matter what I do. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going. There's another blind I could open up. Would that help? No. The board is just, like, permanently kind of dark because, yeah, we just have a big shadow thanks to Harry's kitty tower. That's what we have here. Well, okay. That's fine. Jesus, we're almost at 5 minutes already. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. Hopefully, y'all are still here. We're at day 4. We need to reveal the event for the morning to see what happens. Now, this should be kind of exciting because we are now digging into the ending events. I have not yet gotten that far to actually get to the ending events. Because, of course, when you're doing the campaign, you have like 3 whole chapters I think that's like 6, 10 days before you finally get to the ending events, I think. Maybe 9? I forget how many like days are in between, are in each chapter. But there are 3 chapters and then there's the ending events. So it might be, I think, actually, yeah, I think it's like 7 normal events plus these chapter objectives in between, and then there are 3 ending events. So I guess that makes for 10 turns in a normal campaign. I haven't made it that far. So let's reveal the first ending event and see what happens. Does that make things better or worse for us, I wonder? I don't know. Let's see. Okay, we get ceasefire and, of course, max cold. It says add 3 cold tokens, and we only have 2 to add because there's 4 there. Things are really, really cold, and unfortunately, there really isn't an awful lot we can do about that. Because we have no wood, and we have almost no time or energy to do anything about making more board ups or shoving more wood into the simple heater that we don't have. So we are just at max cold now, but we also have this ceasefire thing that happened. And this is saying the long-awaited ceasefire was finally agreed upon, putting an end to the fighting in Polgaren. Those who managed to survive the war in Graznavia would never forget it. Play this day to its end, including the dawn phase, then resolve the epilogue, C1000 in the Book of Scripts. Oh. That means we just have to survive today, and we actually, quote-unquote, win. We only need one person to survive till the end. Okay. How about that? So, ceasefire. That's a thing. Let's see. We'll just put this down here. I guess this is the final episode now, y'all. Alright. Once we have revealed that, now we go on to the day phase, and we know we need to put Pavel to bed. He's going to nap. He's taking a nap, and that means it's going to get rid of his fatigue. Well, not get rid of it. A nap brings his fatigue down to 1. It doesn't completely remove his fatigue, but it goes from 3 to 1, which is nice. Okay, and now that leaves Cveta. She can do 2 things. And I don't know, if we know that today is the final day, and all we have to do is make it through a dawn phase, which means cold could increase our illness. See, I was thinking she should go to the Deadfall Trap and the Rainwater Collector for her 2 things, but maybe instead we could consider she could poke about. We could see how much wood she could get, and we could perhaps, we do have a book, so we might be able to reduce the cold somewhat, because I know the cold will bring on illness. Let's see. So first of all, yes, we're going to have Cveta poke about. We're going to see how much wood she can find. Not much. Not much. A 3 equals 1. We get 1 wood from her poking about. And so that means she can go up to the simple heater And she can use 1 wood and 1 book to discard 1 cold token. And that would mean with our board ups, we would have 3 cold tokens. So as long as it's... that's not going to help much. It's not going to help much at all. There's really not much else we can do, though. We certainly can't make a board up with only 1 wood. I would love to make another board up, because that would reduce the cold and help defend us in the night raid phase, because we do have to make it through 2 more night raids before we make it to dawn. Yeah, that's really the only thing we can do right now. Just start a fire and reduce 1 cold token. It's better than nothing, I guess. So her second action is to get rid of the book and the 1 wood that she found. And we're going to remove 1 cold token from the cold space. And that was the day action phase. Okay, so now that we are in dusk, we do have 2 water, so both of our refugees can drink, so we don't suffer any ill effects from that. Pavel's hunger is going to go up by 1 because we only have canned food, and I think Cveta should have that so that her hunger will go down to nothing. So Pavel's hunger is up to 2. And we get rid of the canned food, which will get rid of Cveta's hunger entirely. Okay. Because in order to win this scenario, we need at least 1 character with all their stats at 2 or less. Fatigue does not count, but illness, hunger, and all that other jazz, yeah. Okay, so that was the dusk phase. For evening, I don't know, it's tempting to scavenge, but I don't think there's really a point to scavenging. If we know that the only thing we need to do is survive the night and make it through the dawn phase... At the same time, though, if we could get medicine, if we could find some more medicine for Cveta, that would be great. So we might decide to scavenge once, just like we've done before. Yeah, we'll do that. Pavel is... that's why he took the nap anyway. Okay, so we're going to put Pavel, once again, up here. He's going to have the knife... and we're going to have him carry the jewelry, I think. Maybe all of the chems in the shell. And the board game. He has all that stuff. Everything else is weighted, and I don't care about it. And Cveta is going to have the other knife at the door. Okay. So, and we also do have Like a Mouse and Kick the Door Down that can help us in scavenging. So if Pavel can find a closed door, he can open it. And if the noise gets too high, we can always reduce it down to 1 with Like a Mouse. Those are 2 options that we have now, thanks to the narrative actions. Okay, so we are sending Pavel to the hotel. And we are going to play it like we have before. We're going to be mildly cautious, not too overly cautious. but mildly cautious. We just need to try to find some meds for Cveta. And I think I'm also going to try doing the random event to start with, because we haven't done that yet. Each card has a unique, or I should say each location has a unique random event tied to it. And when you start, or at any point really, you can return 2 exploration cards to initiate that random event. So we're going to send Pavel. Oh, that's right, and snipers. We forgot snipers. What happens to Pavel? Okay, once again, we get that shotgun, and we've determined that's a 0, because snipers don't use shotguns, they use rifles, so that is a miss. If we got the little target symbols, that would be a hit. So, yeah, Pavel did not get hit by the snipers, and he goes to the hotel. Cool. All right, so he's there. And we're going to draw 14 exploration cards, and we're going to hope we can find some meds. That's kind of what we need. We need meds so that we can put them on Cveta and hopefully manage that illness, so that the illness does not get worse just because no meds. Like, they are very likely going to get sicker because cold, but we don't want them to get sicker because no meds. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, time for yet another desperate foray into the darkness to try and find more medicine for Cveta. Okay, so now I said we're going to start by returning 2 exploration cards, put them on the deck, and then we're going to go in the Book of Scripts to page 641. Where is that? 641. 641 says roll a black die, so it's a randomized event, I guess. Okay. So we roll the black die of fate to see what occurs. And we get a 1. Okay. So now we go to 1402. What is that all about? (1402) says, we've reached a small yet luxurious hotel previously owned by the Pogren Travel Agency. It's presently occupied by some armed thugs. Screams are sometimes heard coming from the building. It's best to keep away from it. Once noble and bright, it's now a shadow of its former self, much like us. Raise the noise by 4. Great. All that did was immediately raise the noise. Cool. And let us know that there's a bunch of armed thugs doing who knows what in there. Okay. Dope. Now what? Well, let's draw the next card and see what it says. Okay, we can... Let's just raise the noise by 1. We can either raise the noise by 1 or roll for the noise. All right. Next card. Okay, search the pantry. We can return 2 exploration cards or raise the noise by 1 and roll for the noise. Okay, I don't like raising the noise by 1 and rolling for the noise. Okay, like a mouse. What's interesting is like a mouse says play during the scavenging phase. Instead of rolling for the noise, set the noise marker to 1. All right. So this means we could just, instead of returning exploration cards, we could play like a mouse Noise would go right back down to 1, and we would not have to roll for it, and we get to search the pantry. So let's do that. Noise goes back to 1. We have to discard Like a Mouse. We have to remove it from the game. That is no longer an option. But we do get to search the pantry now. So what is in there? Not meds, unfortunately. We do have moonshine, a vegetable, some sugar, and special findings. All right, so let's see here. Sugar that we kind of don't need for anything, really. Normally, you are using sugar to make moonshine, but we do not have a moonshine still. Sugar, a vegetable, precisely 1 vegetable. We kind of don't need that because we're not going to have to eat again tomorrow. This is the final day. And we also have moonshine. Now that might come in handy because we could drink it in the dawn phase to reduce any misery that we take on. Currently, our characters are super happy, and we also have that board game as well. So there is that. We also roll for special findings to see if we get some extra stuff. It's a 3, and that's probably nothing. Yep, that is nothing. Great. Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, we got to put the findings back into the deck. And this has been searched. So let's draw the next card. Cool, we can do searching again. We can either return to exploration cards or raise the noise by 1 and roll for the noise. How many exploration cards do we have left? 4, 8, geez, we have 9 left. Well, if we raise the noise by 1 and roll for the noise, that is only triggering an encounter on 2 or less. Still, though, that would be an encounter that would be triggered, and that could be the death of Pavel. So let's play it safe, and unless we have a hiding place, let's get rid of 2 cards. We're going to put them back, and that will allow us to explore, search the furniture without triggering an encounter. So we now get to draw another findings card, check the furniture, and unfortunately, once again, we don't have meds. We have another knife, a shell, and a cigarette. All stuff that is nice, but we kind of don't need that. I don't even know if there is another knife in the box. Yes, there is. Pavel now has 2 knives. Let's see. And a shell. There's another shotgun shell in here. Here we go. All right. All of that, and we get to roll for special findings. It is a 7. That's a cigarette. Great. We get another cigarette that we kind of don't need. Awesome. Totally striking out on the meds here. Okay. That was searching the furniture. Put this back in findings. Draw the next card. Next card says open space. There is no open space, so that's nothing. That is a map card. That does nothing. Next is a jammed door. That's also not a thing here. So that map card is just nothing. Next card is a closed door. And we do have kick the door down. So yeah, oh my god. Okay. So with this closed door, we can play kick the door down, and we would automatically open a closed door. So I think what that means is we don't have to return any exploration cards. We don't have to roll for noise or any of that stuff. We would just open it. We would get 5 extra exploration cards from the unknown deck. We can draw and resolve 1 findings card furniture chart immediately. Then we discard this closed door. Okay. So we're tossing out kick the door down. We're opening this door. So that means we get 5 more exploration cards from the deck back. And we get to immediately resolve 1 findings card from the furniture chart. Okay. This furniture says raw food and a weapon part. Still no meds. Damn it. All right. Meds are not even a possibility for special findings either. So the best we can hope for is maybe coffee. If we score an 8, that might help. Anyway, we get raw food and a weapon part. Pavel sure does have a whole bunch of stuff. Let's roll for special findings, see if we get some extra stuff. It's a 2, so that's nothing. Okay. So let's put this back in here. And we're just going to keep on rolling, see what else we can find. Next card says basement entrance. That is a thing. If we enter, we raise the noise by 3 and roll for the noise. After entering, we would add 5 cards, and we would also get to double up on the next searchable thing. That'd be a risk, though. That'd be a risk. Because if we get 4 or less, that triggers an encounter, and who knows what the heck that's going to be. So, very tempting, but we already extended our time thanks to that closed door thing. We're going to put this to the side. Maybe we might do that if we still haven't found meds towards the end. In an act of desperation. Although ripping the Band-Aid off now would be better, seeing as how it's a 4 or less now. It might be more later on. I don't know. What's the next card say? It says, I think I saw something. We can return as many exploration cards as you wish and roll the black die. Add the number of the returned exploration cards to the result. Oh, an encounter is just going to happen now on a 5 or less. Wow. Okay. Let's see. How many exploration cards do we have left? We have 7. So I don't know. If we do... If we would have to get rid of 5 to guarantee, I think, that we wouldn't trigger something. If we get rid of 4, we've got 3 cards left. If we get rid of 5, we only have 2 cards left. Let's take a slight risk and only return 4. So that means we get to add 4 to the result when we roll the die. And we get an 8, so we are super good. All right, so those cards get returned. I think I saw something. We did not trigger any kind of encounter. What does the next card say? It says, stairs up, look for another way, or roll, raise the noise by 2 and roll for the noise. Well, we could return 2 exploration cards to not raise the... I think we might have to do that. We might have to return 2 exploration cards, because if we enter, we're just raising the noise by 2 and rolling for the noise. We could ditch this and those 2 cards and maybe try the basement entrance. It would be risky, but if it works, we get 5 more cards and another chance to maybe score some medicine. So let's try that. Let's take a risk at the very end here. Let's get rid of this card and these 2 exploration cards, and then we're going to look at the basement entrance here. Raise the noise by 3, roll for the noise. And we get a 2. Cool. Well, we knew it was a risk. Okay, so that means we have triggered an encounter. I wonder if triggering an encounter means that we don't get any of this other stuff. All I know is, first of all, we've got to... What's the encounter? It's survivors. Determine the number of survivors encountered. Roll the black die. Blah, 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 blah. Place this card in the exploration slot until you leave this location whenever you take anything from the... Okay. So we do not get attacked immediately, but survivors exist here. All right, so I'm going to say that, yes, we enter and we get these additional 5 exploration cards, but we also have these survivors here. So we determine the number of survivors by rolling the black die. And we get a 1. So there's only 1 survivor. And then we draw their tokens. Survivors are armed with... Okay, so you have some tokens in the box here that kind of randomize what sort of enemies you're going up against. Okay, so we have A is a knife, prowess 0. So that's 1 survivor, prowess 0 with a knife. That's not terrible. That's kind of an even fight. But they have a melee weapon. They're not unarmed. They have a melee weapon. Okay. So that happened, and we do get 5 exploration cards. And noise also goes back down to 0. I mean 1, I should say, because the encounter was already triggered. We also have the potential to... Oh! We could trade with them. Maybe we should just do that. We could just trade with them. Yeah, we'd have to return 1 exploration card. We could do that. Return 1 exploration card, and it says see entry 723. Because maybe they have meds, and we have a bunch of goodies to trade. We could just get meds that way. That's kind of all we're looking for is meds. Okay, you may buy... It says you may buy any of these tokens. Hey, it says red, a bunch of stuff I don't care about. Yellow, bandages, meds, herbal meds, herbs, and chems. Okay. So, I know we've got some jewelry. All right. We can definitely trade jewelry. Now hold the phone. Trade sheet. Is there a? Because sometimes there's like a trade sheet. Before the trade begins, you must pay the trade commission first. It means you must discard tokens. Right. I don't think it's saying... Is it saying there's a trade commission? Yeah, the trade commission is 1. It says that on the bottom. Trade commission is 1. All right. So, jewelry and trade commission is 1. Fine. We have a cigarette. So for that, we can definitely score some meds for Cveta. Cool. Cool. What else can we score? What else do we need? What do we want to bring back with us to help us survive the dawn phase, besides these meds? We also have that additional knife for 8. We could combine that with some sugar to get something else. Let's see. There's red, there's yellow, there's gray and green. Oh, we can get coffee. We can trade for coffee. We definitely want to trade for coffee. Okay. So let's see. We could definitely trade some of these chems for some coffee. I mean, we really only need 1. We need 1 coffee. For the heck of it, we'll give both of these shells, these shotgun shells, and we'll get 2 coffees in exchange for that. 2 coffees. That way we can bring some coffee back to Cveta, and she can drink that in the dawn phase to not get extra misery. We don't need cigarettes. We don't need moonshine. We don't really need food per se. It might be a good idea to get some more meds, though. Yeah, we should get some more meds, because Pavel does have herbal meds on right now, but he's at illness 2, and those will go away. I mean, for the heck of it, we might as well just get more meds. We could just trade the knife and probably a weapon part for some more meds. I don't know what else we would want, really. A broken pistol? That's kind of neat. We have no way to fix it, though. Because I think you need, like, a metal workshop that's fully upgraded to be able to fix, like, broken weapons. Oh. We should get bandages, actually. We should get bandages just in case somebody gets wounded. Cveta might get wounded. So let's say knife and weapon part as well in the trade. And that will get us some more bandages. Just in case Cveta gets wounded. Because that might happen in the night raid phase. Okay. So I think at this point we might be able to just end exploration. Provided the next card allows us to do that. I don't know if we'd really want to trade. We got coffee, we got bandages, we got meds. We're going to want to hang on to that moonshine. I don't care about the raw food or the sugar. Although really, we only have, I think, like the knife, the moonshine, the sugar, and the raw food. So yeah, there's nothing else that's currently weighing Pavel down. We traded all that other weighted stuff away. So I think we're done trading. Although we could give up the raw food for like extra meds or extra bandages just in case. Because when Pavel comes back, they're both going to have to do another night raid together. And they both might get wounded. Who knows? So, yeah. Let's trade the raw food as well for some extra bandages. All right. I think we're done trading. And then we're going to toss all this stuff that we traded into the box. So that encounter actually worked out pretty flippin' good. Because we were just like, yo, we got a lot of stuff. What do you guys have? No violence necessary whatsoever. Okay. So let's draw the next card and see what that says. We're going to keep that there just in case it's like a thing that we can search. Okay, so there's search the heap. We might as well do this, because we can return 2 exploration cards and raise the noise by 1 so that we can search the heap, and we would get to do it twice, thanks to the basement entrance. So let's do that and see what else we can find. Just for the absolute hell of it. We already have everything we need and then some, but we're going to see what else we can find. So, findings heap says mechanical part, shell, and weapon part. And or some of that stuff we just traded. We're going to toss that and I guess keep the shell because it's not weighing us down. And then we roll for special findings and get a 1, so that's nothing. All right. So that's 1 heap. And then we get to do another heap. What does the second heap say? It says broken guitar and shell. All right. We get a broken guitar and another shotgun shell. This is probably also stuff we're going to ditch. I mean, I might as well bring the broken guitar back because I think we only have moonshine and sugar that are weighing us down. For the hell of it, I can bring the broken guitar back. We're going to ditch mechanical parts and weapon parts. We're going to roll for special findings. We get a 7, and that means another cigarette we don't need. That's great. Okay. All right, so we're going to say, yeah, we did that. So this kind of means we need to draw the final card. Okay, it stares down. We're just going to end the exploration because that's an option on the bottom, thankfully. So, all right. Okay. Pavel found a whole bunch of goodies. It was definitely a good idea to send him out. That worked out pretty good. Okay, so we can take this enemy token, put that back. Let's see. At the end of scavenging, remove this card from the game. Survivors are gone. Basement entrance. Put this back in. Exploration deck. Okay, and now we are tossing the weapon part and the mechanical part. Pavel is going to bring all the rest of that stuff back with him. Now we have to draw the top Night Raid card and see what happens to Cveta. Yeah, it says Starving People. Wounds 1 and damage 4 tokens. So Cveta does not get wounded at all. And depending upon how she rolls, we may lose almost nothing. I don't really care what we lose anyway, though. But it says any 4 tokens / resources. So we would lose... Let's see how much we lose. Okay, Cveta rolls a 2, and we have 2 board ups. So that is a grand total of 4. So we only lose 1 token, basically. We lose the sugar. They take the sugar. That's all we lose. All right, that went pretty damn good. Cool. Afterwards, remove this card from the game. Starving People are gone. All right, so that worked out pretty gosh darn good. Cveta, the school teacher, did some fancy knife work there, y'all. Okay, so we're bringing all of this stuff back. Okay, we got sugar, cigarette, we got coffee, a vegetable, another cigarette, moonshine, shell, got meds and bandages, which is great, broken guitar for some reason, and another shotgun shell. Okay, and Pavel is coming back with his knife. And once again, we're going to have him not scavenge. We're just going to pull another Night Raid, and they're both going to defend the entrance with their knives. And we're going to see how this works. So next Night Raid card says, it's even less of a threat. It's hobos. It says, it's just wound 0, any 3 tokens resources, starting with the most expensive ones. Okay, so all we have to do is roll. We're going to roll for Cveta. She gets a 2, so they just run away and we lose nothing. Okay. And then we toss this one. All right, so that was the 2 Night Raids. Cool. And we also bring the board game back. Okay, so now that the Night Raid is over... We're putting this back in findings. Okay, we bring Cveta and Pavel back in here, put the knives away. Cool. So now, after Night Raid, we do Dawn, we return, we assign meds and bandages. We don't need any bandages because nobody got wounded, thankfully, but we are putting meds on Cveta because she is sick. She does have illness. So, all right. And now we just have to draw the top fate card and see what happens. Okay, nobody is wounded, but it would say raise the wounds of all unbandaged characters by 1. We lower the illness of all characters who took meds by 2. So that means Cveta's illness is gone. She does not have illness anymore, and we get rid of her meds. Almost wishing I had gotten, like, more meds now, because that means Pavel still hasn't healed. He has illness level 2. If his illness goes up again, it'll be illness level 3. But actually that doesn't happen because it says if cold tokens minus board ups equals 5 or more, and it doesn't. We have 5 and we have 2 board ups, so that's 3. So illness does not go up again. Yo, okay, that's pretty cool. All right, so illness does not increase. We exchange the smallest location, which is nearest small location So we now get the central square, which would allow for exploring and trading and socializing, I think. Yeah, trade and socializing with people and yada yada. That happened. There are no wait tokens. We resolve Spirit A on all character cards, which means nothing happens. There's no effect for Pavel, and Cveta is only sad if someone has hunger level 3. Nobody does, so that's fine. Okay. Fate card is Dunzo. So, for the heck of it, we now just see what narrative action cards are available. So let me look at the ceasefire again. I'm pretty sure it just says, play this day to its end, including the dawn phase, then resolve the epilogue in the Book of Scripts. Okay, narrative action. We have Who's There and Handyman. Handyman we can play it at any time to automatically exchange a broken item for its fully functional thingamajig. Who's There is nice. We'll just do that. Although we do have a broken guitar we could fix with the Handyman. I don't know why it matters though, because the game is pretty much over. Right now we're just dawn phase is over, so now we go to the Book of Scripts and we go to C1000 in the Book of Scripts to resolve the epilogue. 1000 is Ceasefire. Okay, it says, there was this journalist who risked his life and he managed to capture exactly what happens here. He wasn't the only one, but only he succeeded in presenting material to the world, uncensored. This triggered an avalanche, and suddenly news about the atrocities committed against our nation filled TV screens across the globe. Politicians from the most powerful countries and peacekeeping forces gave in to the pressure, and they finally acted against our aggressors. To everybody's surprise, all it took was a few minor interventions, and the soldiers started retreating. We cried tears of joy and sadness mixed into a river that flooded across the city. Some said, "Why only now? You could have saved us earlier." Others just picked up what little they had left and went on looking for the pieces of their broken lives. Now, it says, you may now additionally use all food from the storage for any characters. And we don't... I wish I had known that. It doesn't matter. We're at 2 or less for everything. I guess I'll keep this in mind. You may now additionally use all meds and bandages from the storage on any characters. Each meds lowers character's illness by 1. Bandages lowers... Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Alright. We don't need to do that either. Resolve all the scripts written on the save sheet in the epilogue section, if any, alternately. All the scripts written on the save sheet. I don't know what they mean by that. Check and resolve the final objective card. Even if you have not fulfilled... Yeah, we're not using objectives. This is a scenario. In campaign mode, if you want to know the epilogues for particular characters who survive till the end with their state 0 to 2, except the fatigue, see 1001. That's it. Furthermore, if you want, and if you have fulfilled the final objective, you may check the point scale of your success in this playthrough. If you want to learn about different harder modes of playthrough. Okay. I guess all that's left now is to see the individual epilogues, which is right below. We can look at... who's... Okay, Cveta. Misery is 0. So let's check out Cveta. She's at 1182. 1182 is Misery 0 Cveta. So it says, the war didn't extinguish the flame that drove Cveta to give everything to her calling, and one day she got a visit from a former pupil. The same person who'd made the frantic call one Friday to make sure that his old school had really been evacuated. Back to 1,000. Okay, that's what happened. So with Cveta, she went and became a teacher again. That's really cool. All right, and for Pavel, his misery is also 0, so we can go to 1042 to see what happens with him. 1042. Pavel survived the war. After months of searching and despite numerous difficulties, he managed to find his wife and son. Oh. They'd sought and found refuge in France. He went there to live with them. They never came back to Polgaren. All right. So, I didn't see that coming. We had a happy ending. We actually had a happy ending for once. Everybody survived. The war ended, and we got the good ending for both characters. I guess I can't ask for anything more. That was pretty cool. All right, y'all. So that was Endless Night. We are done with this scenario. So next up is The Last Day. That is the other scenario in the core box. So I'm going to tackle that at some point in a similar fashion. We're going to do one day at a time. The Last Day is going to be, it's definitely going to be harder. It's a little harder than this one. And it's going to be a little bit longer too. So it's like 4 normal events plus the 3 ending events. And it kind of seems now like the ending events don't count as like individual days. Not necessarily. Okay, so basically there's 3 ending events. The ceasefire is what actually ends the game, and 2 other ending events are just events that will make things worse. Yeah. That's how that works. All right, so yeah. When we pick this up again, we're going to start The Last Day. We're going to see if we can actually get something good happening there as well. And after that, I was thinking about trying another campaign while adding some modules from the Tales from the Ruined City, because we have like sewers, we have a farmer's market, we have all kinds of extra stuff that can be added to the game to spice it up and have some different things going on here. So, yeah. Stay tuned to check out all of that, and I'm going to see y'all later. Take it easy. Take care of each other. There is an About section with some links in it if you want to check the other things that I have been doing, which isn't all that much, but hope y'all enjoyed, and I'm going to see y'all when I see ya.